Salty Bob Tavern, recovered from witness recollections and township notes, summer 1904. There are men in every town who drink enough to be unreliable, and just little enough to remain interested. Salty Bob Tavern had three of them. Not bad men, not lazy men, not even dishonest men. Mostly. Just men who had discovered life sat easier after a few drinks and a story too big to trust. Summer evenings usually found them in the same place. Same table, same glasses, same complaints. And more often than not, same topic. Marley. Now, Marley hadn't always been the topic. That's what made him interesting. Years earlier, he had been the town baker. Sharp dresser, sharp mind. The sort of man who counted every penny twice and still slept peacefully afterward. Then one summer, after working briefly at the Marx farm helping organize the accounts, something changed. No one knew exactly what. Marley never explained it proper, only drank and muttered, always the same things. Shouldn't have seen. I wish I could forget. Some things ain't meant for folks. And so, like all tragedies that linger too long in small towns, people turned it into humor, because sadness grows heavy, even if no one laughs at it. One of the men lifted his glass. "Remember when Marley wore a necktie?" Laughter. Another grinned. "Man used to hold everybody's money." Third one snorted. "Now he mostly holds whiskey." More laughter. One shook his head. "Still don't know what happened to him." Another leaned back. "I'll tell you what happened." He lowered his voice dramatically. "Mark family witches curse got him." Laughter again. "Ah, hell," another said. "Old Marley probably just saw Ian skinny dipping in the pond and never recovered." That one got the biggest laugh. Even Bob chuckled from behind the counter. Then the door opened, and the room changed. Their friend stood there, Tom Reese, Tommy to most, and nobody laughed anymore. He looked pale, not pale like sickness, pale like absence, like somebody had reached inside him and borrowed something important. His eyes sat deep, dark beneath them, skin stretched tight. He looked like a man who had not slept, or perhaps had slept badly, very badly. His clothes were dusty, boots muddy, expression hollow. Wrong. Wrong in a way no one could explain. He crossed the tavern, slowly. Didn't greet anybody, didn't nod, didn't even glance around. Just sat at the bar. Bob frowned. "Tommy?" No response. "You all right?" Nothing. Tom finally spoke, quietly, barely louder than breathing. "Drink." Bob poured one, set it down. Tom stared straight through it. Didn't touch it. Didn't blink much either. Just sat there, looking past everyone, like the room wasn't really the room anymore. The three men shifted awkwardly. One finally laughed nervously. "Lord above, Tommy, you look worse than Marley." No response. Not even a blink. Another leaned closer, trying for humor, trying to lighten whatever strange thing had entered with him. "What happened to you?" Long pause, then quietly, "Wish I hadn't seen." The room shifted, smaller somehow. "See what?" Tom swallowed, eyes fixed nowhere. "Want to forget." Another long pause, then, "Or go back and not see." Nobody laughed at first. Didn't know how. Didn't know what he meant. And when men don't know what to do, they joke. One of them forced a grin. "Well, hell, looks like Marley found himself a friend." Another chimed in. "What was it? Ghost in the woods?" No answer. "Saw something at the Mark place?" Nothing. Tom just stared. Still didn't touch the drink. And because silence makes drunk men uncomfortable, the joking grew. Bigger, dumber, cooler. Maybe old Marley finally rubbed off on him. Maybe the Marx family cursed him. Maybe old Ian keeps monsters in the barn. One laughed harder than the rest, raised his drink. Whole place is strange, if you ask me. That was when Bob came around the counter, fast, angry, real angry. Enough! Room went quiet. Bob pointed toward the table. Ian Mark is decent. Man lost his wife, keeps to himself, works harder than most of you fools. Nobody answered. Bob shook his head. Ain't right making stories about good people. Someone muttered, "Ah, Bob, we're just funnin'." According to witness statements, Halleck's Township Officer Incident Notes, summer 1904. Responded to a disturbance reported at Salty Bob Tavern. 3 intoxicated witnesses separately described an unusual occurrence involving the tavern proprietor, Robert Salt. All 3 men stated that an object described as tentacle-like descended through the tavern ceiling and lifted Bob upward into the night sky. Descriptions varied considerably. One witness stated, "Looked like something alive." Another, "Like a tree root." Third, "Like something wrong." All 3 witnesses insisted the event occurred suddenly and without warning. Witnesses further stated the ceiling restored itself immediately afterward, showing no damage. Inspection revealed no structural abnormalities. No supporting evidence observed. Witnesses admitted portions of the evening prior involved fabricated joking and exaggerated storytelling. Despite intoxication, all 3 remained visibly distressed and refused to alter statements, recorded as a possible prank or joke. Happened. Their reunion is only one of many. Years later, one of those same men was reportedly asked whether he still believed what happened. He sat quiet a long while before answering, then said, "Funny thing is, we was joking right up till we weren't." And after that, he never spoke of the matter again.